Hello and welcome. Today it's going to be like a continuation of my Trangia cooking journey, if you want to call it that. The last one I did was Trangia pizzas, which I did out in the field with Barney, and it worked well. And I thought, what other foods do I like, especially when I'm vehicle camping? I could do this maybe if I'm kind of in the woods camping, maybe not so much if I'm in the mountains, but certainly if I don't have to walk miles and miles and miles, certainly with fresh rations. So I quite like lasagna, and I've got my own spin on it, and I thought today, you know what, I'm going to do it. I had a little look online to see how many other people had done it, and there was only one other person I saw do it on the channel, on his channel. It was Bushcraft David, I believe it was. So shout out to you, mate. You know, you got there first. So I'm not reinventing anything, I'm not doing anything new. I'm just basically, I'm doing this for the first time, being open and honest. I've never done a lasagna in a Trangia before. I've done it in Dutch ovens and other stuff because that's primarily where I cook. But I'm just kind of getting to grips with the Trangia cook set. I've used it for years, you know, out in the mountains and expeditions, things like that, but not really in kind of the context I'm using it now, which is if I was maybe vehicle camping with the family and want a quick, lightweight, grab off the shelf option, then that's what it would be. So I'm just going to play around, tinker, and show you the kind of process I've done. I'm not going to bore you with me chopping up all the vegetables. I've done it already, so everything's prepared. I'll show you the ingredients I'm going to use, and then I'll go through the process of doing the lasagna, and then we'll see if it works or not. So it's a bit of an experiment. It's always good to practice, experiment, tinker, refine, you know, and then see how we go. And if it works well, brilliant. If it doesn't, I'll learn from that and then adapt it for another time. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you shortly. The first product I'm using is this kind of Coleman's cheddar cheese sauce. You can use other sauces. I did have a white sauce which is traditionally used with lasagna, but I thought I'd try this for a change because it's cheesy. I've also got onion sauce. I love onion sauce, so that might be something I do in the future as another experiment. To be fair, I've got plenty of mix, so I could probably do another one with onion sauce to compare. That's what I've done there. All I've done with that is it's kind of keep it realistic. If I was out in the field with the vehicle, UHT milk, and that makes my sauce. Like I said, I've pre-done it. That's it there already, just cooling down, that I can add when we do lasagna. So that's the kind of the sauce option. I add smoked sausage to mine, so what I do is I either slice it or chop it up into little bits. So I've used about half of one of them, of the smoked sausage. It just adds another kind of flavour, another texture to the meal. It's actually, I quite like it. If you've never tried it, give it a go. The portion of meat, which I reckon this meal will probably easily do 2 people. I've just done a kind of takeaway box size portion of meat to give some kind of idea on size. So that was roughly half a packet of the bigger packets of mince you get. So that's the mince option there. The sauce, I've gone for a Lloyd's Grossman tomato and chilli sauce. I like a bit of spice. Again, I won't use all of this, probably maybe even half of it, to get a nice good bed of sauce in with the meat. So that's the sort. Again, what I've done with this in the past is I've dehydrated it with my dehydrator. You can cut it in half, portion it down, but again, if you're talking you want to carry lightweight stuff, then you could dehydrate that. Likewise, you could dehydrate the onion. So that's just one small onion. I love onion, and I'll be very conservative with my portions here with regards to onion. So that's one small onion just chopped up in there. You could add more or less, but I say because I'm experimenting, I'm starting off with known factors and I'll build up from that. Last thing, I might not put both of these in, just a bit of stock, give it extra flavour, and then I'll sprinkle some cheese, which I haven't got here right now, some cheese on top, and water. So they're the only 2 other things that are missing from here. The cheese sprinkle on top as a finisher, and water. So that's the ingredients I'm going to be using. So just lay it out here so you can see it. So really, when you look at it, there's not a great deal there, but when it all comes together, it'll be good. One other thing I've not shown you, which I'll show you now, is the lasagna pasta. I've already kind of pre-broke it down to the size. I didn't want to use fresh pasta. The other guy did. I just thought, no, I'll try and base it off the stuff that I might have in my truck or whereabouts, or if I'm vehicle camping, and I would have this stuff, maybe not fresh. So fresh, yeah, if you can go fresh, go for it. It's a good option. It's easily mouldable or cuttable to the size of the pan, but I thought, no, I'll go for this and see how it goes, because then if it works well like this, then it would definitely work well with fresh pasta. So that's the last thing missing. So that's the package there as a whole to make the lasagna. So I've just bombed up the burner. Fully loaded. So I'm just going to give that a minute. I'm going to put the windbreak on and just give it a second or two, just to kind of let the actual, but it's bioethanol that I'm using, kind of warm up. I was going to do this video out the back of my truck in a nice location, but the weather's not been that great in the UK the past week or so, and I couldn't really wait any longer. It's been kind of, you know, when you got something on your mind that you want to do, well, that's kind of where I was at. So I've just put the pot on now. Little drop of groundnut oil. I might actually put the old simmering on. So that was just some groundnut oil that I've got in my little container here, an algae container. This is pretty much my standard kind of out in the field oil. Give that a second or two to warm up. And I'm going to be using my cherry carved kind of general purpose spoon to cook with. Again, nice and lightweight, and I'm just trying to season it up as well, so it's got a bit of time under its belt. It's been used heavily over the past few weekends. I'm really quite enjoying it, so yeah. It's really taking some time. I'll leave that off for a bit actually and let it just kind of pick up. In goes the onions. I don't know what it is about the smell of onions frying, but I love it. So this was the same Trangia that I did my pizzas in, to give you an idea of size. What I'm going to do is just give them a quick fry up just to get a little bit of colour on them, and then we'll go from there. Starting to get a bit of colour to them now, which is nice. You could also add garlic in here. Sometimes I do add garlic, but I thought I had some, and when I checked I didn't. But you could use powdered garlic, the kind of stuff you get from Asian food shops, or you can get the squeezable garlic, like the ready-made chopped up garlic, which I'm not a great fan of, to be honest with you, but that'll also do the job. So what I'm going to do now is just chuck in my smoked sausage, and then just give that a bit of a whirl around. Again, these two, this is a combination that's good in a rice, an omelette. So I try and think of foods that if I'm out vehicle camping or one of what I call civvy camping, that I can easily buy, and it will last for a long time and will go with many meals. I kind of feel like my bioethanol's kind of burning really cold in a minute. Hopefully it'll warm up. So that's something to be aware of as well. Like, this is my my man cave. It's not too cold in here, to be honest with you, but if you're somewhere a bit more exposed, there's a good chance that your ethanol, your bioethanol, your meths, whatever you're using, might take a bit of time to kick in and get going. But a minute, can't complain. It's a nice heat. It's doing exactly what I need. Yeah, the old jets are starting to do their thing. It took a bit longer than usual, but there you go. Just give me that time to get a nice heat to get this kind of browned off to how I want it. I say if it gets too hot, just stick the simmering on, which I might do in a minute. Don't want things sticking. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to chuck the beef in, and slowly start frying that off. So this is lean steak mince. So far, just to summarise, onion, one onion, half a smoked sausage, half a packet of steak mince. So I'm going to get that till it browns off a little bit. Now I know this doesn't follow like a traditional Italian lasagna recipe, and there's probably people out there that are thinking, what am I doing? I'm destroying the memory of lasagna, or the sanctity of lasagna, or whatever you want to call it. This is just kind of something that I've done before, and I've really enjoyed it as a meal at home. And if I enjoyed it at home, I'll probably enjoy it out in the field. So yeah, I've done chicken lasagna before. That's quite good, with tins of soup and chicken breast and bits and bobs. That's really quite nice. So that might be something I'll do in the future. But like I said, I'm not the first person to do this, and all credit to Bushcraft Dave. I'll try and link him into the video to give him a bit of acknowledgement for giving this a go first. Fair play, mate. He beat me to it. Something I've been thinking about doing for a long time, but just haven't got around to doing it for various reasons. But no, this is just my take on it. He did his out in the field though. I'm just kind of not. I'm being a bit, I don't know. With my oxos, what I tend to do is, when they're in a cube form, I crush them down to make like a flat pancake, and then I kind of just nip one end off. It just allows me to allow for better spread. There's nothing worse than just chucking an oxo cube in and then you're eating away and you get a big oxo cube lump in your mouth. At least this, it spreads the love all over the area you're cooking in. God, that smells good. Again, another thing I've done to help maximise the cooking time is chop things up small. It'll cook quicker. If you look at a lot of stir fries, Chinese, Asian cooking, they chop a lot of their ingredients thin and small. Again, that's when they're stir frying it, it'll cook quicker. So if you want to save fuel or reduce your cooking time, that's something you can think about. Give that a few more minutes. Just starting to stick, so time for a bit of sauce. There we go, that's quite, put in about half a jar. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, so roughly, you can't really see at that angle, but it's roughly 3/4 of a jar, say. But them jars do taper off at the top and get smaller, but let your eyes be your guide, as my mate Matt Tightwood says. Just judge it. There's no kind of hard and fast rules, whatever you decide. So look at that. Get hot, simmer up, and then we'll look at repeating the process of layering up the lasagna. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this off and I'm going to pour it, most of it, into another pot, and then I'm going to start the layering process. That's what I do. Take this off the heat, and just while I'm doing that, I'll just kill the Trangia. Just pour most of it out for now. In fact, I'll pour all of it out. So that's the Trangia 27 pot, and as you can see, that fits nicely in there. So move that to one side. Now it's simply the process. It's a bit like Lego. So I'm going to put the pasta in. Okay, that's the first bit, and then I'm going to do it so you can see. Bit of sauce. Again, I'm leaving it quite moist because I want to make sure that the pasta actually softens. I don't mind it a bit crispy, to be honest with you. I don't mind it at all, but I want to give it half a chance. So that's my first layer. Then good dollop of cheese. Kind of spread that out a little bit. I was thinking of maybe doing a bit more, but again, it's about getting the proportions right. What I will do is sprinkle a little bit of cheese in each layer, just to give it a bit of extra cheesiness. As if this video isn't cheesy enough. Then another layer pasta, and then just repeat the process. So I might give it a bit more sauce this time. So I'd say, from doing this now, maybe 2 packets of the sauce, the actual cheesy sauce, because it does thicken up quite a bit. I could have made it a bit runnier, to be fair, in hindsight. Bit of cheese. Yeah, I'd definitely say maybe 2 packets. Or make it a bit runnier, but I think belts and braces just make it 2 packets. It does work with one just, but if you like it kind of cheesier or nice and creamy, then, well, you decide, it's your meal. But I think next time I'll do 2 just to make sure. So that's kind of pretty much the finished product. Sprinkle a bit of cheese on. So there you go. That's the meal ready to go now. Go in the oven. Ready to hopefully, fingers crossed, do the job. So just to recap, I'm going to put this kind of Trangia pot stand on, then this kind of, I don't know, diffuser, dispenser, the big pot, and what I'll do is I'll quickly just pour just a little bit of water in there just to help keep things moist. Then the lasagna in on there, snug, and then what I'll do is I'll put the lid on. It is now 20 to 11, so I'm just going to leave it now and see how long it takes. So it's been nearly 10 minutes. What I did do was I forgot my spaces. Look at that. So I had little aluminium kind of cubes that I made for the pizza. I stuck them in there to give that bit of distance. I thought the water would work, but no. So I went back to what I did with the pizzas, put the spaces in, and that's just giving that a little bit of gap underneath. A little bit of water in there just to kind of keep it moist. And it's just doing its thing. But what I actually do now is some quite a high heat. It's just take it out, and there's the spaces, take it out and put it on like a lower heat, because as you can see the dispenser is working, but I just want to give it that extra chance not to burn. There we go. That's a nice heat. Again, it's all trial and error, experimentation. See how it goes. There's the lasagna. Lid back on. And let it do its thing. So that's after 10 minutes. So it's been about half an hour or so. A little bit moist, but I don't mind that so much, considering I'm just trial and error. But by looking at it, quite a thick sauce, so yeah, that was nothing stuck, can't smell any burning. So yeah, it's quite a thick sauce. So what I'm going to do now, you can see that, quite a thick sauce. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it off. And leave it cool for a minute. So there it is. That knife went straight in. There was no resistance at all. So I think the pasta has certainly been cooked through. I'll just try and half it. Might come out a complete mess, but you can see there. Bit different at home when you've got spatulas and nice square dishes to put it in. There we go. A little bit of pasta stuck at the bottom, but I can't argue with that. For a pot meal, that's alright. The main thing is the pasta isn't solid. Kind of show you a bit of a close up. You can see there, the pasta's nice and flexible, nice and moving. It's pretty much the same as what I cook at home, exactly the same. It's cooked the same. All that was on one full Trangia stove, or cooker should I say, fill. So that's, I'm happy with that, really happy with that. Yeah, it hasn't come out like picturesque Marks and Spencer style sales images that you'd see on TV, but happy. So what is important now? Sniff test, it's past that. Visual test, yeah, I'm happy. Taste test. A little bit of crunch because I'm taking it from, this bit's from the bottom of the pan. It's not really that stuck, it's just a little bit caramelised, but nothing too bad. Yeah, I'm happy. I'll say this is a 100% success. I'm very happy with what's happened here. Very happy with the results. And now I'm going to try different things with it as well, like I said, like the onion sauce and other bits and bobs. But that was very little effort. It really was a very little effort. And pretty much once it was put into oven mode, I left it alone. Gave the odd check underneath. You kind of know if it's going wrong. She probably smelled burning first. But if I get back so you can see me, look, I'm really happy with that. I like lasagna anyway, but something definitely worthwhile doing. Yeah, very happy. So next time you want to drag out your Trangia, try lasagna. Give it a go. You won't be disappointed. All I need now is a nice glass of red wine to go with this. But no, well worth it. As you can tell, I'm pretty chuffed. Yeah, good. So, hope you found this useful. I really do hope you give it a go and see how you get on, and let me know how you get on. What recipe you've tried, what you've added to it. Yeah, just let me know how you get on. I'm always interested in feedback, always interested in what people do, little differences, especially if you put it in the context of being out in a vehicle or out in the field, kind of with regards to ingredients and bits and bobs. But yeah, very happy with this, very happy indeed. Well worth it giving it a go. I hope you get something from this. If anything, maybe inspiration to go and do it yourself. Like I said, thanks to Bushcraft Dave for beating me to it. Well done, mate. And his video is good. Check him out. Check out his channel. He's got loads of bits and bobs on there. So full credit to him. You know, I've done nothing different or new or reinvented anything. I've just kind of done my own take on it. Well, thanks for watching. I'm now going to crack on and devour this, and maybe the whole pot, because I'm quite hungry. And I'll see you on the next video, whatever that may be. Take care.